Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Saturday check-in. It is October 11th, 2025, and isn't it a horrible time to be alive? If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. Follow me on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays. Head on over to the blog hellocupcakeitsme.com and give it some love. Make sure that you follow me on all the different social medias, and then check out my book Carpe Diem Scrota 365 Daily Affirmations, found at www.cdsthebook.com. So how is everyone doing? I am honestly just waking up. I was awake until like 3 something this morning, and it I decided that I was just going to take the day and sleep. And when and if I got up is when and if I got up. But I also went and did like a 5-mile walk last night with my niece. So that was pretty cool. I'm just loving our nighttime walks, and it's a time for us to just talk and catch up with one another, and like her tell me all of her bullshit, me get to tell her all my bullshit, so on and so forth, and it's just, really kind of nice. I've been dealing with a lot of mid-grade depression lately, and just not doing well at all mentally. And so I really needed that reprieve last night. And I had some like Karen moments at one of the local stores, and had this like back and forth with this bitch. Like, so Kroger, QFC, Food for Less, whatever you know them by, they're all the same company, but Kroger has gone through and redone all of their stores, or at least the stores in my area, since COVID. They've made the shelves taller, and they've made the aisles wider, to make it look like they have more product than what they actually do, because people coming into the grocery store and seeing half empty shelves was putting everyone into a panic. They've also shortened the shelf length and stuff like that. So like a lot of these little psychological tricks to like make you feel like there's more when there's actually about the same. But anyways, so I get catching up with people or whatever, especially when you like see them at the grocery store, you haven't seen them in a while, or even if you saw them yesterday, you just, stopping and talking like, hey, what's up, blah, blah. I do that quite a bit. Like, I've never met a stranger, so I talk to everyone and blah, blah, blah. Well, these two ladies were talking and taking up the entire freaking aisle. Like, no one could get around them. And so I'm standing there at the front of the aisle, like where I want, because what I need is just on the other side of these two. And I'm like, I'm not walking all the way around to get this item. So I waited for them to like acknowledge me. And I was like, excuse me, well, excuse me. So finally I just like, the one lady who I had the altercation with, she shifted a little bit and left just enough room for me to get my basket through, plus myself. So I go not pushing past her, but that let me just scooch by that we all do. I just did that, and I'm all right behind you, hun. And she turned around, she's all, I don't remember what the first part of it was that she had said, but she's all, you rude fat son of a bitch. I was like, who today, child? Today I have the time for this. So I swung around and I was like, what did you just say? She's all, you are a rude fat son of a bitch and fuck you, asshole. Oh no. Mm-mm. I took out my library card because I read this bitch for filth. And I was just like, listen here, Mildew Mildred. I said, excuse me, 3 different times. You and your friend here never once acknowledged me, never once moved. But then the second that I try to get around you, I'm all of a sudden a rude, fat son of a bitch, asshole, whatever. Like, no, we are not going to do this. This is not going to happen today. I'm all, you know, just be more mindful of your surroundings. And she's all like, fuck you. I looked at her, I'm like, bitch, don't. Like, just don't. And she's all, that's what's wrong with this world today is people like you just doing whatever they think they can and blah, blah, and all this other stuff. And I was like, whoa, whoa. I know that back in your day, Pangea was still a thing and that your Legos were atoms, but you are taking up the entirety of the fucking aisle by having your little gossip fest with your girlfriend here while standing there aging like milk and the plaque in your arteries are like, hardening by the second. Meanwhile, my frozen food and everything else that I have in my basket has now been past its expiration date, much like your dildo. And, yeah, you need to move the fuck on. And you can try the samples. You could try Costco. You could try Jenny Craig. You could try Jesus. Don't try me. And she's all, I would, if I was a man, you wouldn't talk to me like this. I was like, you're right. We wouldn't be having this conversation because I would have grabbed like a can of food, hawked it at your head, and beat your fucking ass. But because I am a gentleman, unbeknownst to you, because of how you approached me, I gotta say, fuck you very much and get verbal with you. But you know what? It's okay. Well, you have the day that you deserve. Is that an insult? Is that something that is supposed to hurt me? Is that supposed to touch my soul? Is that supposed to like sit on my heart? The day that I deserve did not have you in it. Did not have this interaction between you and me in it. The day that I deserve is a world where someone like you, who's taking up the oxygen that I need to breathe because my oxygen doesn't come out of a canister, and being rude and insulting to me when you are in the wrong and I didn't do anything to actually physically hurt you or touch you or whatever else. I inconvenienced you by me moving around you. My day that I deserve is for you and everyone else who has been affected by you and your bullshit to no longer be here. So fuck you, fuck your family, fuck your family tree. I hope it dies at the roots. Bye. And I kept walking, and she's like, "Ah, this generation's just so rude." And over my shoulder, I was all, "And your generation needs to fuck off." Oh, by the way, Fixed It and Effed It is on aisle 3. You might want to go get yourself some, because listening to you and having this little interaction with you was like watching two coconut shells clack together with your poor dental. And I just walked, and I turned the corner before she could say anything else. I hate being that person, but somewhere inside this big bitch, there's like 473,822 million people living. Like, one of the personalities came out and was just like, "Nope, not this day." So that's how my yesterday started, but it got progressively better. And after that interaction, I don't know what it was, but I felt lighter and happier and was just like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then after last night's walk with my niece, like, I woke up feeling so much better. So hopefully, the depression has like passed, and everything is going to be back to pseudo good. So all of that being said, I finally got a couple of my medals. And so the very first one that I am going to show you is, I need to go get a picture frame holder, but my certificate of completion for the American Cancer Society, and I got my medal. If you watched my video previously, you will know that they sent out the wrong medal. So this is the right medal here. And the little swimmer goes back and forth. Like, isn't that kind of cool? Like, so that was my medal that I got for the American Cancer Society for swimming 5 miles. And yeah, I think it's cool though. It's got the little swimmer, like I said, and he goes back and forth. So yeah, that's medal number 1. And then my second medal, which is kind of ironic to me anyways, but so I got my certificate of completion for doing my, this is my 50-mile challenge. So, I got my patch and my sticker for this one, and here it is. So, my sticker on my Nalgene bottle. But I also got like a really nice patch, and that is like on the other side of the room, and I'm not going to get up to go get it. So, but yeah, so I got my sticker and my patch for my 50-mile challenge. And then there's another certificate floating around here somewhere for the other challenge that I just did, but here is my other medal, and look at that. This is my Choose the Light medal with Virtual Pacer Series, and it's 10 or 5K, 10K, 26.2K, or 13.1K. And I have, as of last night, completed all of these, and I'm super excited. And it's got this beautiful Tyvek ribbon, and it says Choose Light on it. And this thing is substantial. It's like solid metal and just so beautiful and so large. And like, this is my new obsession, is doing these challenges to collect these medals, and I'm really, really loving it. So yeah, I I'm excited for this, and I'm this one especially because this is the Cancer Society one, and this is the one that I really kicked my ass doing. It 5 miles in water versus 5 miles on land is not the same. Um, but it was a wonderful experience, and I actually ended up doing what was it, 19.78 miles. So I was only supposed to do 5, and I ended up doing almost 20 miles. Um, and um, Also, my family has been unfortunately touched by cancer. My grandmother had skin cancer. I'm actually surprised my dad didn't have cancer because he was so baked from being in the sun that his skin was permanently red. But my sister had stage 3 breast cancer. Thankfully, she is 8. She's somewhere between 8 and 10 years in remission, so that's awesome. My cousin was just diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and when they went in to do her surgery, they found that she had uterine, ovarian, and breast cancer. My biological mom, who passed away in March, I'm pretty sure had breast cancer, maybe possibly even lung cancer, but she went in for a mammogram at 71, 70, somewhere between 70 and the time of her death. And they found masses in her breast, and she's like, I don't give a fuck if it's cancer or not. I'm in my 70s. I'm not going to go through chemo and all that other stuff. So she's probably she probably had it. Her mom had it, and multiple people on both sides of my family have had it. I lost a cousin to cancer at 18 or 19. I lost another cousin to lupus, which is a form of cancer. And so, there's not a person in my life who had, and not, there's not a person in my life that hasn't been touched by cancer. And I have my experience with cancer with my sister and my cousins and all these, my aunts and grandparents and all that other stuff. So, very, very emotional to be able to do that. And then with the choose the light one, you have your darkness over here and you have your day here with your semicolon here. And for those of you who don't know about the semicolon project or what the semicolon means in the mental health world, the semicolon means that my story doesn't stop here, that I continue to move on. It has become a symbol of hope, a symbol of survival, and a symbol of um, mental health prowess. And so, like, if you ever see somebody with like a butterfly tattoo and the body of the butterfly is a semicolon, that means that they are struggling with suicide or have been, they're a survivor of suicide. Someone in their life has passed away from suicide, but it's usually like the semicolon means that you are a suicide survivor and that you are dealing with suicidal ideation or attempts or what have you. So this one was really, really special to me. And I got through the majority of this within the first week and a half of signing up for this particular challenge. And this one so far holds like a really special place in my heart. Just not only because of the beauty of the medal itself, but just what it means personally to me. I I talk about my mental health all the time on here and on all my different channels. And it's not because I am wanting some kind of like, oh, Michael, it's going to be okay, blah, blah, like recognition. Men don't talk about their mental health. And when mental health is talked about, it is done so in such a negative, taboo light. And there are so many ignorant assholes out there on the internet that call things mental health issues that are not actually mental health issues. In particular, one side of the political regime likes to say that everything is a fucking mental health issue, and it's the whole Tiffany conundrum. And if you don't know what the Tiffany conundrum is, it's that in the literary world, especially like authors who are writing books about like period pieces, especially like in France or whatever, that the use of the name Tiffany is disillusioning because people don't realize that Tiffany is actually a very old name. And so when you're reading a book that's set in like the 1600s in France and one of the characters' name is Tiffany, well, that doesn't sound very French, and that like breaks the illusion that the author has created for this storyline. And so basically it boils down to people know what they know, or people know what they think they know, is a better way to break that down. So a lot of people know the name Tiffany and think that it is a newer name than what it actually is, and you can't tell them any difference. So people are all over the internet. Oh, that's a mental health issue. That's a mental health issue. Oh, these, especially in regards to like gender dysphoria, gender identity, gender affirming care, transgender peoples, homosexual peoples. You know, it's not just because you want it to be a mental health issue, or you think that it's a mental health issue, or your party thinks that it's a mental health issue, does not make it so. Homosexuality and all that other stuff was at one time categorized as a mental health illness, even though homosexuality has been around since like the dawn of time, and entire cultures and civilizations were built around homosexual people. The Greeks, the Romans, Native Americans, the Chinese, the Japanese, like all of the Orient, like every single culture the world over has some kind of homosexual rooting. Like there's in the Native American tribes, there are the two flamed people, or the two spirited people. There was talks of in the I think Shinto era of Japan, whenever the samurai were, men who loved one another and went to battle. And there's a story of these two samurais who went to battle, and one came home, and it had been several days since the other one had shown up, and he was just distraught, like, where where have you been? Where have you been? And it was the ghost of his lover coming back to say, I'm sorry, I have fallen and I did not hold up my promise to you to return to you. And it's a beautiful story. Um, but, all of that aside, though, just because you think something is a mental health issue does not make it so. And I have made it my life's mission to correct those people who are the loudest about mental health issues. Like, it is a mental health issue to, like, have this superiority complex. Like, that is an actual mental health issue. But just because you are yucking somebody else's yum does not make it bad. Now, there are caveats to that, and there are like some crowbar separations and all this other stuff. I'm not going to get into that because that is an entire different rant, and that is for a different channel. It's a channel that I don't even promote, but or I don't promote within the Hello Cupcake It's Me universe. But anyways, yeah. So I just go through and I see posts and I see what people say, and I take actual documented proof and case studies and things from like the Mayo Clinic and Psychology Today and all these other places, including my own information, and I present it to that person like, well, what you are saying here actually in the mental health work handbook says this, this, and this. And this is when it was considered a mental health issue, but this is not now considered a mental health issue, blah, blah. Oh, that's fake news. Somebody even quoted me as being AI generated, like I was a bot. I said, I'm sorry that my intelligence and that my like understanding of a subject that you have no understanding of don't connect. Like, sorry, not sorry. Like, you wanted me to, I always type things out in layman's terms so that everyone understands it. But you know what? Here's a page literally from my dissertation that I've done on this topic. Oh, okay, yeah, that's just Chat GPT, blah, blah. Again, I'm sorry that you're not intelligent enough to understand what I'm trying to say, but this is exactly what I wrote a paper on and got graded by a university instructor, and you're telling me, oh, it's AI generated. Like, not everything is fucking AI generated. Not everything is ChatGPT. Not everything is Photoshop. There are things that exist that are not Photoshopped AI or ChatGPT generated. And so, anyways, I put the information out there, and then it becomes the Tiffany conundrum. And it's like, okay, well, just say that you're ignorant, you're stupid, and you don't have the capacity to learn without telling me all these things, please and thank you. Um, Sorry, my neighbor's outside and he has a dog, and it's not on a leash or any kind of a lead, and it looks like he just went in the house. And I live on a main thoroughfare, so I was wondering like where the dog or what was happening. Okay. Um, yes, I'm that neighbor that like peeks through the blinds. I check on all my neighbors. I don't know my neighbors that live directly in front of me. I barely know my neighbor. I know my neighbor behind me, like this direction, enough to like call and talk to her or just say hi to her or her family. And then the neighbor that lives on this side, I know. And then there's a main thoroughfare, and then there's like one person that I know that lives in a trailer park across the street, and that's it. But I try to keep an eye on all of my neighbors and what's happening, so then that way, like, I could be like, hey, I saw XYZ happening over here when you guys weren't home. Just wanted to let you know. So yeah. But anyways, so a lot of stuff going on, and like I said, dealing with my mental health, dealing with other people's mental health, uh, getting these challenges taken care of. It's been freaking amazing to be able to focus on that. I have been working on the blog, getting some of the things changed and switched around, because I realized yesterday or the day before that a lot of the information was out of date and out of sync. Like, it was saying my book coming in, like, no, my book is published. You could buy it online. um it's out there if you know how to find it, and if you like click through some of the links, I think I actually have it linked on the book website. I just personally prefer to deal with the book directly and go from me to the person who's purchasing it, because then that way that gives me a chance to sign the book for them if they want it signed or whatever else. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I'm trying to update the blog, and I'm thinking about starting up a whole web page for Hello Cupcake It's Me, where you are able to click through to the different things that I offer, like a landing page. Then that way, you don't have to go to hellocupcakeitsme.com, or you go to hellocupcakeitsme.com, and there's a button to take you to the podcast. There's a button to take you to TikTok. There's a button to take you to Instagram. There's a button to take you to Facebook. There's a button to take you to the blog, just kind of making more of a landing page, and then like a choose your own adventure type situation from there, which I think I'm actually going to implement today, and change my DNS settings with GoDaddy and get that all situated and taken care of. But yeah, so anyways, guys, if you have watched this long, I thank you so very much. Let me know if you want me to start breaking these videos into like part one, part two. I can, on videos that are 30 minutes or longer, I can definitely break them into multiple different parts and just make things a little smaller and a little easier to consume. So, anyways, hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Remember, you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. Don't add to the population, don't subtract from the population. And in a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And I will talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.